Hi everybody, today I'm going to be reading That Chickadee Feeling. It has been written by Frank Glue and the pictures were by Sheila King. So let's get started. That Chickadee Feeling. I was bored. Really bored. My toys were boring, television was boring, my video games were boring. Everything was boring. He doesn't look too happy. That might be how you're feeling right now. I'm glad you're reading this book with me, though. Hopefully that helps. Even my sleeping dog, Max, was boring. I needed something exciting to do. There's this doggy taking a nap. My mummy was busy writing a letter, so I didn't want to bug her. I had to think of a way to get her attention. I put on my most boring face and spoke to her in my most boring voice. Mommy, I'm bored. I am really bored. See his bored face? And there's Mommy working on her computer. Mommy looked at me for a long time over the top of her glasses. Then, to my surprise, she said, I know just what you need. You need that chickadee feeling. I didn't know what she meant by a chickadee feeling, but I was ready to try anything. There's Mummy with her good idea. Before I knew it, I was dressed in my coat, my scarf, my boots, my hat, and I was heading towards the park with a small bag in my hand. There he is out his window. They're taking their dog too. Oh, look. What do you think this is? What color is that bird? Maybe they'll tell us. As we arrived at the edge of the forest, we were greeted by the warning sound of a screaming blue jay. I heard other sounds in the background. So it's a blue jay. Just like his color. My mommy explained to me how this land used to be home for many animals. Now, all that was left was this small park that a few good people had saved. If you look, this might look like the neighborhood you live in. Here's some houses. Here's a little park. Some parks have a playground. This one just has trees, which is fun too. I wondered what all this had to do with me being bored and what a chickadee feeling what really was. There's him with his dog. All of a sudden, my mummy stopped and she whispered, "We are here." I looked around, but all I saw were bushes and small trees. I heard strange fluttering noises that seemed to be getting closer and louder, but I couldn't see any animals. What do you think it is that's sneaking up on them? My mommy told me to be patient as she took some sunflower seeds from the small bag. She told me to hold out my open hand and to be very still while she spread the seeds gently on my bare hand. And if you do this with your mummies and daddies, you also need to be very quiet. So here's his mummy putting the seeds. Okay, let's see what happens next. I stood there for a long time. Then suddenly I heard the soft, gentle sounds of small wings very close to us. A curious little chickadee landed beside me on a dogwood shrub where it watched me very carefully. Look at the little chickadee. Have you ever seen a chickadee before in the woods? We're going to find out what they sound like here soon. Maybe you've heard them. It sang its song, chickadee-dee-dee-dee-dee, 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 and moved its head nervously from side to side, looking around. It hopped through the bushes towards me. I stood as still as a bird feeder and quiet. There he is standing with his mummy, and his dog is standing very quiet too. The tiny chickadee hopped cautiously closer. I was so excited. It looked at the seeds. It looked at me. Our eyes seemed to lock on each other. Then it happened. The little chickadee. The trusting little bird landed on my hand. I got a strange tingly feeling in my tummy, which stretched from my fingers to my toes. I was surprised and excited at the very same time. There's the chickadee coming in to land on his hand. A big wave of happiness rushed over me. It felt as if Mother Nature had touched me. It was magical. He's in the woods. This must have been what my mother was talking about. This must be that special chickadee feeling. I wondered how this little bird could make me feel so amazing and cheerful. He looks really happy, doesn't he? Doesn't look bored anymore. The little chickadee chose one seed from my hand, then flew to the nearest tree branch. It placed the seed between its feet and pecked hungrily at the shell to find the tender inside part, which it quickly ate. Here's the little chickadee. Do you see the seed? There he is, the seed in his foot. I heard other chickadee-dee-dee-dee-dee sounds, but the same little chickadee flew right back to my shaking hand for some more food. He must still be hungry. Again, I got that same warm, wonderful chickadee feeling. It was awesome. To my surprise, I forgot my mummy was with me. When I looked at her, we both glowed with big, beaming smiles. At that special moment, I felt a different kind of chickadee feeling. That day, I learned that I could have a chickadee feeling even without a chickadee being there. As we walked home, Mummy and I talked about other exciting chickadee feelings we both had in our lives. Mom told me about a little puppy she got for her birthday, the time she came first in a race. I told her about learning to ride my bike and the first time I saw a rainbow. There's some of their chickadee feelings. Have you ever had a chickadee feeling? Maybe when you made some really, really pretty art, or you made mommy or daddy smile. Those are some good chickadee feelings. But the best part of all was when my mommy told me her very, very, very best chickadee feeling was the first time she saw me on the day I was born. Here he is as a little baby with his mummy. I sure didn't feel bored anymore. Chickadee-dee-dee-dee-dee, chickadee-dee-dee-dee-dee, chickadee-dee-dee-dee-dee. The end. Thanks for reading with me today. See you next time.